9:33, talking about double dipping. To get a snapshot of how widespread the practice is, the AP reviewed a sampling of states of varying sizes, including several in which double dipping has generated a public backlash. Listen to this. Available data showed nearly 71,000 double dippers in California, New York, Texas, Florida, Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Arkansas.
This is a lot more prevalent than I thought.
In Illinois and Ohio, populous states with a strong union presence, there appears to be no reliable way to determine double-dipping figures for government retirees. In other words, it's pretty well hidden.
Seems to be, yeah.
California had more than 6,000 government retirees back on the payroll as of last December at pay rates ranging from as little as $8 an hour to as much as $8,500 a month. The additional income that I told you about, this Maury Rouge guy.
Yeah.
After 43 years, he retired. Now, see, that's a long time. He's not retiring when he's 40. He was asked to return to work part-time. I don't have much of a problem with this. Along with his salary, he receives his pension of more than $113,000. But once again,
you think he's old enough?
There comes the experience, and he's not a guy that's going to be doing it for 50 years. I don't know. It's a hard thing to answer. Let's go to Frazier of Boise. David, good morning.
Hey, good morning. One of the things that's particularly bad here in Idaho is the PERSI system. And the legislature has gotten that thing down where a guy, and it can be anywhere, city councilman, part-time, making $5,000-6,000 a year, or a legislator making $16,000 a year.
PERSI is what the government workers have.
Public employees retirement.
Yeah, it's like their 401k sort of. Yeah.
Well, that has a neat little clause in it that their retirement is based on their highest 42 months. So you take somebody that's worked as a Eagle City councilman, and suddenly they get appointed to the Ada County Commission, and they're making $90,000 a year, and their retirement is based on the $90,000. Some of them get elected after being police officers. We've got policemen in Boise right now of patrolman rank that are making over $134,000 a year. But it's paid for by a grant for narcotics enforcement, and it's specifically intended for overtime. Sounds good, but that 4 years of doing that, or 42 months, puts them at a huge retirement. That's why you see these guys that stay on sometimes where they've had a county commissioner job or something that's up there close to $100,000, and then they'll go and take a lesser job to get their timing in, to get enough years. There's a magic number, and I think it's 90 or something, much lower for cops. So that's what's happening with our system, and they all know the system.
Yeah, see, I get PERSI because of my status as a horse racing commissioner. I get $50 a meeting.
Yeah, but that $50
and about 8 meetings a year.
Yeah, and all you need to get rich off of the Idaho public is
I got to get me a better paying job.
Well, that's what it is. You get a 42-month stint as a special deputy assistant to the governor, and bingo, you retire as though you had a whole career at the $80,000-90,000 a year, and that's a real. You look at most of these state departments, divisions, and things. They're all headed up by former legislators, former politicians, and of course that's logical because the people that are appointing them are also politicians.
We appreciate you pointing out this strategy, Dave.
Yeah. Well, it's well known within the system. I mean, we had one county commissioner here a few years back was a school teacher, and the school teachers don't get paid, blah blah blah. He came in, I can't remember if he was elected or not, but he was county commissioner 42 months, and he left. And retirement was based on that. So it's a pretty common thing throughout the state. And if you can get a little job like a racing commissioner and do that for whatever, 10, 20 years, 15 years, and then you've got something else to add on to it, bingo, you got some bucks. So that's the way that part works. And there have been moves to stop it. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. I can understand why.
Yeah, the guys that are making the laws are the ones that benefit from it.
Yep. All right, Dave. Let's go to Sean of Boise. Sean, good morning.
Hi, Paul J. Hey, I am a public employee and also a union officer with a public employees union, and I just wanted to chime in on some of your guys' comments that aren't totally accurate.
Okay, good. I'm glad you called.
I know Dave Frazier of The Guardian was right in front of me, and some of the things he said were accurate, but it's not as easy as just coming in, doing 42 months, and being out of here. You have a multiplier that's based on the amount of years, and it's like, I believe it's here 2.3 or 2.5% per year that you're employed. So it's not like you can come in and you're going to reap the full benefit of your wages. There's, like I said, there's a multiplier.
Okay.
And then when you were talking about the double dipping, a lot of the times that's actually a benefit for the taxpayers, because what's coming in is when we're hiring somebody back, we're not having to pay their full benefit package, which I know with Boise City, it's almost a 70% fringe loaded by the time that you get done with, paying Social Security, other benefits, and health insurance. So once they're retired, if they are drawn to PERSI, a lot of the times they're not getting medical coverage. They're not getting paid back into their PERSI, but they're not building any more time. So it's not enhancing their PERSI benefit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So it's actually fiscally or financially a conservative move. And then the other problem that I hear from a lot of your guys' logic is you like to bring in information from states that haven't been financially conservative with dealing with public employee retirement.
True.
PERSI is one of the most healthy public employees retirement in the nation. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. We're at over 80% fully funded, where you want to throw out California or Florida or some of these other states where they had lawmakers or legislators or elected officials that haven't acted responsibly with the public employees unions, like in California, and they are struggling, and they are having issues. But in the state of Idaho, we're not. Our PERSI system is healthy.
Okay. We'll lay off the PERSI system for a while and go to just like union municipalities, hooked up with unions, like this one in Florida that has the 20-year retirement thing, and guys are retiring at 45 years of age at 80% of their salary.
It all depends on how the contracts are written. I know,
is that smart?
In Boise, it is we operate under what we call the rule of 80, and that is when your age and your years of service add up to 80. That is, you are eligible for your full PERSI benefit.
So those guys would have to be 60-something by then.
Well, yeah, and your full PERSI benefit, Paul, is, like I said once again, Dave Frazier was right. It's your high 42 multiplied, or the average of that, with the multiplier of 2.3 per year of service. So you're not ever going to you're never going to recoup unless you do 40-plus years. You're never going to be at 100% or over 100%. There's states out there, I'm sure you've given examples, where people are making more on retirement than they were working.
Yeah.
And that's not possible in the state of Idaho.
Well, that's good. You've eased my mind knowing at least here we're fiscally responsible. All right, good stuff. Thanks
for the call.
That's a good call, Sean. Thank you.
Bob,